Hello, this vid is Western rationalism versus Middle Eastern doctrines. Now, why do I call fundamentalist Islam, fundamentalist Christianity, and fundamentalist Judaism mystical religions? Right? It's because mysticism uses logic to say that to use supposition to get around the problem of having to use science or the senses to describe something which isn't physical, i.e., like a god. Okay, conception of God. Now, the conception of God introduces the idea of power. Okay, which introduces the idea of hidden or secret knowledge, and also therefore hierarchy, because what really gives us hierarchy? Is it people who are often successful in business often keep their business information to themselves, okay? And so that gives them an advantage. But let's, before we go too deep into hierarchy and why the interviewer said to Ann Coulter, your thing is against my doctrine, basically, when he said you're being anti-Semitic by saying that Jews aren't perfect, okay? Because Ann Coulter said we want to make Jews more perfect by making them become Christians or converting them to Christianity. That was the nub of it, okay? But beyond that argument between Ann Coulter and the interviewer, okay, and I'm not a fan of Ann Coulter if you've not seen the first part of this vid. We must get back to the idea to why redemption is necessary in the first place. If your religion is saying, oh well, when the world is turned inside out, we approve right and they approve wrong, and oh then how we will laugh. That basically comes down to the three different religions that Christianity, fundamentalist Christianity, fundamentalist Judaism, fundamentalist Islam. Why do they believe this? Okay, and if they have faith, why do they then need a militaristic and then political organisation for each different religion in their different ways? Okay, obviously radical Islam has got the Bin Laden family, or elitist feudalist family with hundreds of billions of dollars, if not perhaps maybe trillions. We don't know how much exactly, but every year Bin Laden gets $43 billion, okay, on his own, without counting the rest of his family. Well, we're not getting into actual things, we're sticking with philosophy, otherwise it's going to get too heated, okay? Why do they need these military structures? If they've got faith, if they believe it's going to happen, but the necessary thing to go through the trial, right, means that they have to make it happen, okay? It's the prophecy making itself come real, okay? And the reason why they have to go through this process of redemption is because inherently all three religions come back to the original root, okay? The original doctrine is that man is intrinsically evil, okay? And because of that, they have to have faith to make it work, because without the faith of redemption, what would the doctrine be? Suicidal nihilism, because they're doing the same thing over and over again, causing harm to themselves and to others around them, and then that obviously would be called insanity. That was Robin Williams' definition of insanity in a comedy vid on YouTube. Well, because it boils down to the image of basically people using violence, and it's kind of like the idea given to suicide bombers, saying that if you do this bombing, then you'll get 72 virgins. It's kind of like comes back to the thing in Planet of the Apes where they're all sitting around worshipping the bomb as though whatever power, divine power, is actually inside the bomb. Well, God isn't inside the bomb, alright, or whatever other conception of divinity there is. It's just a bomb. It's just violence, because they need to continue to have violence and so it's a vicious circle. It just keeps going on and on and on. Okay, well, what does Western rationalism have to say about it? Well, it's been scientifically proven that the underlying equation beyond E equals mc squared, which basically just says the functionality of energy and matter. Energy is equal to matter, and it's constant because of the constant, which is the speed of light. Okay. Now, whether the universe is expanding beyond the speed of light, that's not being questioned. Okay. It comes back down to the idea of free will, then, because the more powerful equation is that every action has a consequence, which is the consequence theory. If any of you have seen The Matrix, you will know that the Merovingian character, who's incidentally named after a Frankish dynasty, talks always about consequence. Okay, and because he believes that he knows what consequence is, there is no free will. There's just another action. Okay, but where that falls down is because, and where the science of string theory and other such theories and chaos theory come out, is that the consequence is always greater than the sum of its original parts. Okay, and that might explain why the universe, or if there are multiverses out there, is expanding. Okay, they can continue to somehow find an energy source, find matter, that there is perhaps a balance, of course, between positive matter and negative matter, dark matter. I don't want to get too much into it. How does this relate to Western thought and the Enlightenment? Well, if we don't know what the consequence is going to be, the flip side of that is that we can always choose to do the right thing. Okay, now let's take Marcus Aurelius, and I'm probably going to have to do part 3 in a minute. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor, and he took on the Stoic, which is the Roman philosophy, which was about the same time, coming about around the same time. There's massive amounts of chaos in the Roman Empire, invasions from Persia and from Germania, and of course the Germanic societies were based on honour, whereas the Romans were based on law. Okay, the Romans originally did put great emphasis into honour, dignity and duty, and that's one of the main things in Stoicism, that whatever you were, whoever you were, your equality and dignity as a person was that you always tried to do the right thing. You did your duty. Okay, now this is a guy who's in charge of the whole of the known world. Aside from Persia and China, he has no rivals. Okay, in charge of 60 million people, he could literally have all the money in the Roman world. Okay, he can chop anyone's head off if he gets sufficiently angry. Okay, but yet he always tries to do good, and this goes against Lord Acton's view that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So did the Stoics go on a rampageous spree of murder for redemption? No, they just tried to do the right thing. Okay, stay posted for part 3.